basis of any business is sales. It is possible to promote products and services in different ways. Thousands of marketing tools have been invented for this. However, advertising always adapts to the consumer. A modern customer is a dynamic, busy person with an obligatory set of gadgets surrounded by terabytes of information in the network. On average, smartphone owners access the internet from their devices about 75 times a day. It becomes difficult to sell something to such a user on the street and in a regular store. Therefore, marketing experts of the most progressive companies following their audience go online. In Kazakhstan, due to the fact that there is a few competition for online advertising is quite cheap when compared to large markets. Moreover, that is why I am very surprised when some of our companies still do not accept digital marketing, because cases are considered very simple. The price of this advertising is much cheaper than buying advertising on the street or in TV. The era of internet marketing appeared in Kazakhstan quite recently with the advent of communication providers. Today, every entrepreneur and anyone who advertises knows that it is much more effective to find the client online. Even if you have a business that does not sell anything online, then you have a buyer who is online. Now, retention of some Instagram is 95%. It is a product that people use every day. For example, small workshops on development, handmade goods, travel companies that use only Instagram or social network for their advertising. Moreover, they do not have the expertise to dig into the context. There is not much money to go on TV. But nonetheless, digital services are very good for them. Today, internet marketing tools are known not only to professionals but also to any user. Search advertising allows offering the consumer what he is looking for in search engines. Targeting allows posting information about product only to the target audience segment. Such methods are convenient for both parties. A person gets useful advertising and an entrepreneur gets more chances to make a potential buy real. In addition, online tools allow measuring the effectiveness of a marketing campaign. It is a more accurate communication, that is, it is not like from a TV, where you do not understand who will look at this advertising. Here everything is very clearly visible. You see who clicked on your ad, how old he is, man or a woman, what sites he goes to, what he did on your site when he clicked, and so on. That is, this campaign can be configured very smart. Internet marketing is always about brains, about how your marketing department sets up advertising campaigns. The global trend in digital marketing did not immediately reach Kazakhstan. Traditional advertising still attracts entrepreneurs more than unknown digital technology. In 2017, the share of online investments amounted to about 10 to 12% of the total advertising market of the state, while in Russia, during this period, advertising expenses in the network exceeded spending on other types of promotion. In addition, in the UK, this happened in 2015, making the United Kingdom a pioneer in internet marketing spending. While Kazakhstan advertisers are not only being acquainted with possibilities and effects of online advertising, the concept of internet marketing has managed to become slightly outdated. American studies have shown that 11% of all internet users block advertising by means of special services. At the end of the last year, the number of devices on which such programs were installed exceeded 600 million. Information noise has increased, and it is getting more and more difficult to reach a potential buyer. We are competing for content. Unfortunately, we cannot, as in all way, place an advertising and expect without interactive that people will come to us because of this. We compete with interesting videos, with very creative advertising around the world, not only local one. Therefore, we must look for a different approach. How to get to the client when it is hard to surprise him? This question has forced marketing experts around the world to move away from the separation of traditional and online advertising and adopt the concept of digital marketing. That is, to use all capabilities of the latest technologies, including big data, geofencing, and technical innovations. For example, interactive panels that can broadcast advertising and give the buyer the opportunity to immediately order the goods they like. So, digital marketing integrates digital technology into offline platforms.
Change tourism more than anything else, probably. in the world of technology. I don't even like to call this a telephone anymore. This is not really a phone. When was the last time you saw a teenager making a phone call and speaking into one of these devices? They never use that functionality. It's all about messaging. It's all about producing content. It's all about sharing that content in real time online, photos and videos, and a GPS, which connects that content to a physical location. And that makes these things so important, particularly when tourists come to your country and bring them with them.
Tourism is a sphere that has begun to actively use digital marketing. Experts say that 98% of all tourists are inspired to travel through the internet. They're looking for opportunities for quality and affordable leisure on the internet. Online booking services, network guide, and navigation completely changed the approach to sales in this industry. Now more attention is paid to ensuring that each person has information and opportunity to independently organize his trip.
We recently announced kind of a revamp of the way the site works. We're really moving into a more of a social sharing setup. So in the next 2 months or so, we're going to be launching our new travel feed, where brands, destinations, hotels, etc. can actually be followed by our users. We're having much more of a social feed where people can share brands and destinations and content that they really like and inspires them with their friends and family.
In order to promote services and resorts even on the internet, ordinary advertising is not enough. Recommendations are a specific digital marketing tool in tourism. Many social networks and blogs allow using a free and effective opportunity to tell about yourself. Each user shares in his account using selfies, hashtags, geolocation, and increases the visibility of a tourist object. I believe that when a person makes a selfie and gives some kind of positive information about the resort, this advertising works much more powerful than the paid methods, because it is a direct recommendation to subscribers and friends. When a person sees paid advertising, he understands that it is being imposed on him. When a person sees a selfie and cool emotions described in the post, then this ad is much more effective in my opinion. They approached the development of this marketing tool in its entirety. Tourists need fast and inexpensive internet to share their impressions of the Republic. There are no problems with this in Kazakhstan. The country is one of the leaders in the CIS in terms of mobile data speed. A new era of digital marketing involves the use of the latest technology not only for sales, but also for improvement of product or service. The first internet technologies in Kazakhstan were mastered by financial institutions. Online banking and e-commerce are developing faster here than at their neighbors. These areas are more open to innovation and quickly introduce advanced technologies. The latest developments are being tested now at one of the local banks. This is a virtual consultant for private customers. It is a virtual meeting room to which your client can connect remotely from anywhere in the world. Or even if he just wants to save time and does not want to go to the office through traffic jams, but discuss some issues with his financial advisor. As part of this virtual meeting room, the client sees a visual 3D visualization of his portfolio, his assets and expenses. Thus, he can dive interactively into this environment, perceive the information easier, and it is simple to make some decisions. The service is not offered to retail customers who do not have a large portfolio and do not conduct complex financial transactions. All needs of population majority are easily solved by online banking services. However, it would be unprofitable to use expensive VR equipment for several privileged clients. So they decided to use virtual services in the field of personal training. Such training methods are already successfully used in large industrial enterprises and aviation industry. If we talk about the cost of developing these virtual simulations, they are comparable, for example, with such costs as videos development. Moreover, in fact, they're even cheaper than some outdoor events. The possibilities of using virtual reality in financial sphere are being actively studied. It can be connected to popular banking tools. For example, one of the French banks offers its customers a VR mortgage service. Before purchasing a home, a person can take a virtual tour on residential developments. The global network has given a chance for millions of people around the world to open a business on the internet. Today there are online projects, 100% of audience are online. These are marketplaces and various services for the provision of services. They spend huge amounts of money, not even on advertising itself, but on data collecting about their audience. Approximate age, gender, social status, financial solvency, needs and interest of the consumer allow customizing the most effective sales when a product or service is offered exactly to whom they need. You can buy data about users at mobile operators or analytical agencies. For example, now such options are available when you can calculate how many men from 30 to 40 years old pass by a certain billboard on the way from kindergarten to the work, in order to see if it makes sense to you to place an ad on this billboard. There is many data now. You just have to come to the right places or develop it yourself. The developers of information security services say that user data is protected to the maximum on the internet. When buying, they're provided impersonal, no one sells contact and personal information of consumers. For business processes convenience, there are even automated systems that just need to specify requirements about the customer. Based on them, the algorithm itself adjusts the advertising campaign. However, despite such opportunities, qualified specialists are highly valued. Vitaly Gerasimov has been engaged in digital marketing for 10 years. During this time, he studied all possibilities of promotion on the internet, including advertising at bloggers and celebrities. Personal recommendation always attracts new consumers, says the marketing expert. But there are certain difficulties with this in Kazakhstan.
С одной стороны плюсы, с другой стороны недостаток нашего, по крайней мере, блог как пространство.
On the one hand, it is an advantage, and on the other hand, it is a lack of our blog space. It is what we see at Russian bloggers and adopt their experience. Often big brands stop there. It is easier for them to take some of the most popular channel about technology, address to popular blogger, and he will directly convey this information to us. Unfortunately, we have a different situation. They do not have such a number of subscribers, the audience, and the cost is approximately equal. In general, online pricing works on an auction basis. The starting cost of all advertising tools is about the same, but it increases in the course of the growth of advertisers' number in one area. Vitaly notes that among internet marketing experts, the changes are occurring. There are highly specialized areas such as working with big data or web analysis. Soon the market will require new competencies and proposals.
Будет экономить человеку время, оно, если мы говорим о ближайшем, будущем, не о каком-то.
If we are talking about the near future, a person needs time. The easier it is to get content for the person, the faster he will do some operations, let us say to buy. If he quickly got what he needed and it quickly loaded, then it will happen all the time. If we're talking about distant future, then a printed search set will be removed. For example, we will speak in a voice, find certain goods, and in fact, we will no longer see and find what place we should be. We will have to fight at some other level. Experts predict a speedy change in digital marketing trends. Already now, instead of intrusive banner advertising, a streaming video is gaining popularity. This means that 75% of all internet traffic today is taken away by viewing multimedia content on mobile devices. An analysis of the activity showed that viewers watch live broadcasts and streams 3 times longer than the video in recording. Another marketing trend is chatbots. Personalization and individual approach attract consumers, so marketing experts expect that by 2020 up to 85% of all communications with online stores will take place in automated messengers of sites. This data allows entrepreneurs to build effective strategies in time for attracting and, most importantly, retaining customers.